coming to India, when you look at, you've been working with India, you've been to India. How do you see the Biden administration dealing with India, both on a bilateral basis and also on a multilateral basis?
Well, I do know that President Trump and Prime Minister Modi seem to have a good personal relationship. And and I'm, again, not to be entirely critical of the Trump administration. I think the Trump administration has, for example, the 2+2 negotiations, the Malabar operations between India, the United States, Japan, and the invitation to Australia are all moving forward. We have seen, for example, domestic purchase and Indian purchases of defense weaponry from the United States has gone up. We've still got the challenge around the S-400 system. So I believe there will be we can build upon some of the progress that was made by the Trump administration. I also think one of the differences is that Donald Trump viewed the whole world through a America first foreign policy approach, where you partnered with America only if it benefited America's fiscal bottom line. I think there will be, under the Biden administration, something I hope to work with the administration closely with, more a notion, particularly as we think about China and some of the other questions we'll get to, a coalition of the willing. I mean, we often talk about India and the United States being the oldest democracy and the world's largest democracy. We're also nations that both operate under rule of law, and that idea about how we deal with technology, how we deal with China, how we deal in the Indo-Pacific region. I think this level of collaboration will actually increase, and I think it will be less and I hope it'll be, again, based upon shared values rather than simply a kind of a monetary decision as each country decides whether they want to side with America or with China. I think it needs to be more values-based rather than just economic-based.
What would be your advice to government in India as it prepares to deal with the incoming Biden administration? Your closing words.
I think, briefly, the Indian government needs to recommit both the United States and to the world its commitment to democracy in India itself. I think, number two, it needs to recognize that the Biden administration is going to be open to particularly advancing ties with India. I think particularly around technology development and COVID. We didn't speak much about COVID, but COVID and vaccine distribution could be an early win between U.S. and India. I think as well, we need to work on 5G and artificial intelligence and quantum computing and a host of other new areas. And then finally, I think one of the greatest assets we have for this relationship is the Indian American diaspora. And I think you're going to see more members of that diaspora in the Biden administration than ever before historically, obviously starting with Vice President Harris. But I hope the Indian government would take even greater advantage of that Indian American diaspora to build stronger ties.